Hello, creatures of the internet, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. Let us resume. Alright, we left off in camp here. We were going to talk to our new companions. Let's start with our dog, who I named Dogmeat.
Why, you little...
I already bit him, huh? What? What? Did you just jump at the sight of your own shadow again? Are you harassing my dog?
Oh, you're so funny. Such rapier wit.
Hell yeah.
Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me, look.
Oh, you poor baby. There's hardly any blood drawn. Still, he shouldn't have. It was just a warning. He could have taken a hand off. Good boy, teach that silly Alistair a lesson. Bad dog. That's not very nice. Well, he is a war dog.
Don't you think I don't know it? Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me.
Yeah, it will. What else we got?
I once heard a really old legend about how the Hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished. Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
Oh god, gagging noises, heaving.
Oh, like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
Now he's scaring him. Don't listen to Alistair, he's full of rubbish. If you've had it and didn't know it, it probably was tasty. I'd never feed you another human being. Keyword. Human.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it, you know.
Sure. Oh, you making him mad now?
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
Wags his tail.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
He was trying to show his love by giving you a dead rabbit in your underwear. It's the thought that counts. He means well. Can't be stinkier than what normally goes into him. Oh, God. I think he thinks you need more meat on your bones. Why doesn't he share his food with me? It's a thought that counts.
Dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
No guarantees. Don't do it again. You're a war dog, not a nursemaid. You heard the lady. It was a gift. You can't just give it away like that. You heard the lady.
I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
Could have said flea bag. I think you hurt his feelings. You're a mean lady. That dog is too smart for his own good.
He is certainly manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Yep. Any more? Yep. What is all this racket? Watch Sten and Dogmeat. Back away slowly. Yep, that's what we're doing. Dogmeat digs furiously in the ground at your feet. Trying to find a way through the earth, are we? Happy bark. He goes back to digging. It's going to take some time, you know. Oh, don't be silly. You'll just mess up the campsite. Alright, have fun then. It'll take some time, you know. He continues digging. Well, good luck with that then. Well? He wags his tail happily. Pet him. He rolls around happily as on his back. I didn't see a wiener. Is this a male or a female dog? We'll never know.
Yes?
I think you should go. I'd like to talk.
Here I am.
This vision of yours. What was it like in the Chantry Cloister? What would someone like you be doing in Lothering's Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
You just don't seem to belong in a cloister. You know, a beautiful, charming woman like yourself. Sanctimonious, preachy, like all the other zealots. They don't teach you how to fight in the cloister, do they?
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
What did you do before that? Affirmed? And why were you seeking safe harbor? So your skills were learned before your time in the Chantry?
We affirm our belief in the Maker, in Andraste and the Chant, but other than that, there are no vows taken.
What did you do before that?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes? Yes, of course.
Liar!
Let's move on.
Codex updated.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
You were a traveling minstrel. Do you have tales to share? Let's ask the Chantry Cloister
Quiet.
first.
It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
Condescending how? Yes, they tend to be self-righteous. That's why I'm not particularly fond of them.
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
I don't really want the Maker looking in on me anyway. Who would? Watching you poop at night. Watching you sleep. Watching, well, just about everything. What did you say to them? I prefer your ideas to the ideas of the Chantry. But you must earn the Maker's blessing.
Maybe I am wrong, but it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now. Yes?
What else you got to say?
Well, here I am.
This vision of
I knew
yours...
this would come up sooner or later. I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise. I stood on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell, and the darkness drew me in.
What then? So it's just a dream. Why say it's a vision? You dreamed of the blight? That doesn't mean anything. What then?
When I woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rosebush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
That's just wishful thinking, Liliana. And this made you want to help me. Did you hear voices? I don't need your maker interfering in my life.
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the blight devours everything?
The Chantry says the Maker has left us. The blight is the Maker's punishment. Will you defy him? I suppose I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a blight to stop. Yes? Well, here I am.
Right, let's ask her about her
Of
tales.
course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
There was another story I wanted to hear. Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Who has not? Yes, I've heard of Flemeth. Flemeth? Morgan's mother was called Flemeth? Met Flemeth in the Kokari Wilds.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
What does it matter? She didn't really introduce herself as such. She looked like your average old woman. They probably just had the same name.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Ooh. Flemeth was once beautiful? I don't have time to discuss Flemeth right now. Let's hear the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Oh, the plot thickens.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari Wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari Wilds.
I love how there's always some truth and lies, lots of lies, know any stories from Orlais?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Orlais.
Eveline. Go ahead.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Saw that coming?
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney? Go on.
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Damn. I was hoping for a happy ending. That's horrible.
The son of the king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Orlais so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
Jeez. Tell me about Darkspawn.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn. In ages past, the mages of the Tevinder Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin, and it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. The Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
Alright. There was another story I wanted to hear.
Which
one? I thought of it just now, but it slipped my mind. Wow. Sounds like me. Do you know anything about the Dalish?
I know little about your people, but I may be misinformed, and I would hate to offend you.
That is why we must learn more about each other. I would not be offended.
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in the land of their own.
It didn't last, but the humans had to take that from us, too.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the Chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The Chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The Chantry declared a holy exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
It's wrong to, force your religion onto people, and that's kind of what the Chantry does. So the fact that they got mad over the fact that the elves did not want a Chantry built in their lands, they had every right to tell them to go fuck themselves. But, shit happens, I guess. What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Why did the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her? This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
Nope. Alright. We're done talking with her. Stun, why are you...
Why are we stopping?
Never mind, let's keep moving. I think we should talk for a moment. We're working together. I think I should get to know you.
There are Darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
I need to know if I can trust you at my back. Are you alright? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
I've never seen a Kunari before. Tell me about your people.
No.
Never mind, let's keep moving. No, why not? Please? Why not?
People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of, the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
Who excel at poverty. Wow. You said you were in the army.
I am.
Have you ever fought in a war? What made you decide to become a soldier? Why would the Qunari send soldiers here?
I have always fought in war, elf.
Jeez. Don't have to call me that. What do you mean by that? So you must know your way around a battlefield, then.
My people have been at war since the moment we set foot in the Northern Islands.
So the Qunari don't come from the islands?
We do now.
We do now? Where did you come from before?
Somewhere else.
Somewhere else! That's a great answer. Can you be more specific?
No. I was born in Seheron. Of the land we came from, I know nothing, not even its name. I do not see how this matters. Seheron and Parvolan are distant. Ferelden and the Darkspawn are immediate.
True, let's go.
As you wish.
Oh, at least we got a +2. He is really
Yes.
hard to please. What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
You were standing, not sitting. Don't lie to me. That's not what I meant. Very funny.
Thank you.
He actually sounded happy there. That's surprising. Fine, let's drop this for now. Are you going to answer my question? You're impossible. Just tell me. You don't like me much, do you?
Warden, if I truly disliked you, I would leave. That I am still here, you may interpret however you choose.
Are you going to answer my
I
question?
did. Parshera, was there anything else?
Pashera. Don't be saying horrible shit to me, please. Because I'm saying horrible shit about you. I have a question?
I am hardly surprised.
Actually, never mind. Why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question.
You came all this way for that. What was the question? What was the answer? Okay, what was the
Were
answer?
you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
That's the answer? Don't you have to report back then? Why would the Qunari care about the Blight?
Yes.
He's so simple with words. So what are you still doing here then? When are you going to do that? Well, I can see you're on top of that.
I cannot go home.
Why not? I'm sorry. Well, you can stay with us.
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
Wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak then.
That's enough for
Then
now.
I suggest we move on.
Okay.
As you wish.
So few of words. Wow, we got a +16 out of that. Holy shit. I think that's everybody. I don't think we have anything to sell. That's right, I said I was gonna look up these, gifts and I never did. Well, let us get the heck out of here.
Indeed.
Yes.
Oh, wait. I just remembered. Let's, talk to him. And pick up the
You're a
quest.
hard woman to find. Where am I?
That's
then?
what she said?
The name is Levy. Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
No. I'm Philandris. I've never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levy? We've known each other for years.
I
Here I am
barely knew
carrying
Duncan.
on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise did Duncan make to you?
My family... Well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last warden commander of Ferelden back when the wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
Okay, what happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one, and our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
I'm surprised you kept your name.
Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the blight. We're not ashamed of that.
Aren't you? So what favor did you ask of
Ask for
Duncan?
the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
Couldn't you just go there by yourself? I've never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Ireland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
How will reclaiming the peak help the wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Your family's faith will be rewarded. I will help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Well, got some new codexes. Now we can go to our world map.
Yes.
Indeed.
Oh, where shall we go? I feel like we should go here first, but I don't want to be locked in a location for too long. Does that say Dragon's Peak there? Can I zoom in? No. Yeah, let's go to the Brazilian Forest.
Andara Natishan, my friend. You have come a long way. I give you the welcome of our clan. These are curious companions you have. Might I ask the purpose of your visit?
I must speak to your keeper immediately. I have come on behalf of the Grey Warden's sister. I seek the clan's hospitality. I cannot speak of my purpose here.
As you wish. Ask your companions to remain close. We are unused to outsiders.
I see we have a guest. And one of our own, no less.
This one comes from one of our sister clans to the north, Keeper.
You travel with a curious assortment of companions, I see.
Yeah, I do.
Tell me, what business might you have with us? As you see, we have our own issues to deal with.
I come representing the Grey Wardens.
You might have simply said so to begin with. Masiranus Mithra, you may return to your post.
Manuvinen, Keeper.
Now, perhaps we might introduce ourselves. I am Zathrian, keeper and Haran of this clan. You are?
Are you telling me he's the only elder in this clan? My name is Philandris. A pleasure to meet you.
If you came to bring news of the blight in the south, it is not needed. I had already sensed its corruption. I would have taken the clan north by now, had we the ability to move. Sadly, as you can see, we do not.
Yes, it seems like you've had your own troubles. What are the odds?
Do not allow our troubles to burden you, though I suspect they may impact your mission. I imagine you are here regarding the treaty we signed centuries ago. Unfortunately, we may not be able to live up to the promise we made. This will require some explanation. Please, follow me. The clan came to the Brazilian forest 1 month ago, as is our custom when we enter this part of Ferelden. We are always wary of the dangers in the forest, but we did not expect the werewolves would be lying in wait for us. They ambushed us, and though we drove the beasts back, much damage was done. Many of our warriors lie dying as we speak. Even with all our magic and healing skill, we will eventually be forced to slay our brethren to prevent them from becoming beasts. The Blight's evil must be stopped, but we are in no position to uphold our obligations. I am truly sorry.
Is there no way to help your men? There are actual werewolves in the forest? Why did these beasts attack you? Surely you must have some warriors to spare.
There was a time in Ferelden's history when werebeasts roamed the lands in great numbers. Spirits possessed animals and turned them into horrific monsters. The humans warred against and destroyed these creatures. No doubt their tales of those days grow ever more inaccurate.
Flemeth tells tales of such a time. Packs of possessed wolves akin to abominations roaming the land. It was a terrible age, now long past.
The werebeasts are not all gone from this land, and the ones that stalk the Brazilian forests are proof of this.
Well, let's ask this. Why did the beasts
They are
attack you?
savage and unrelenting. They need no reason to attack anyone. What is curious, however, is the ambush. We expect werewolves to be no more cunning than a rabid wolf. The ambush suggests a level of intelligence we've never seen before.
Maybe they aren't as unintelligent as you think.
I doubt that. The very curse that is in their blood fills them with an unreasoning rage that precludes any true thought.
Is there no way to help your men?
The affliction is a curse that runs rampant in their blood, bringing great agony and then ultimately either death or a transformation into something monstrous. The only thing that could help them must come from the source of the curse itself, and that would be no trivial task to retrieve.
I am good at non-trivial tasks.
Within the Brazilian forest dwells a great wolf. We call him Witherfang. It was within him that the curse originated, and through his blood that it has been spread. If he is killed and his heart brought to me, perhaps I could destroy the curse. But this task has proven too dangerous for us.
The fact that he knows that is already
I sent
suspicious.
some hunters into the forest a week ago, but they have not returned. I cannot risk any more of my clan.
I'll find this Witherfang for you. Have you considered seeking outside help? You said you could perhaps destroy the curse?
There is no guarantee that this will work, as I suspect, but it's the only hope we have left.
I'll find this Witherfang for you.
I must warn you that more than werewolves lurk in the Brazilian forest. It has a history full of carnage and murder, you see. Where there is so much death, the veil separating the spirit realm from our own becomes thin, allowing spirits to possess things, living or dead. But if you can indeed help, then I wish you luck.
I need some equipment.
Then I suggest you see Master Verathorn. I will instruct him to put aside some supplies for you, the kind that the hunters use.
I have some questions for you.
Make them quick, if you please. I have much to do here. My apprentice Lanaya or Sayrel, the clan's storyteller, could provide you with answers just as easily.
How do I find Witherfang? Do you have any ideas?
Watch for the white wolves. They are his eyes and ears in the forest.
Tell me more about this curse the hunters suffer
There is
from.
not much to say. It stemmed originally from Witherfang, but now any werewolf may infect someone with it.
So did all werewolves everywhere stem from what they're
No.
saying?
The ones from this forest, however, do.
So if a werewolf bites me, then I will become infected?
It is possible, but not guaranteed. The only way to protect against the curse is not to be bitten.
How do you know if you have been infected by the curse?
You will know within a matter of days. You will begin to sweat and vomit, and most tellingly, your temper will become wild and uncontrollable. If that happens to you, you should seek out Witherfang even more swiftly. Your mission at that point will be rather personal.
How did this curse start?
That is a long tale I do not have time to tell. Ask Sayrel about it if you wish. Go on, then.
All right.
I must return to caring for my people. Creator's speed on your way.
Will Sayrel tell us the truth, though?
Underanatishan Lathalan. My name's Lanaya, Zathrian's first. I hear your clan has moved on to the north, and that you're now one of the Grey Wardens. Allow me to congratulate you for stepping into a world that few of our people even dream of. I wish I could do the same.
You do not want to do the same. I had little choice in the matter.
If having freedom to choose also meant abandoning your destiny, would you have?
Abandoning my destiny? I don't think this was my destiny. I hate hypothetical questions.
Nevertheless, I have so many things running around in my head sometimes that it seems I can think of little else. Perhaps, since you have traveled in the outside world yourself, might I ask you a question or two?
She's sorry for saying that. Well, I have no time for questions. You just asked me a question right there. For a fellow Dalish, anything. Do I look like I'm here to entertain you?
What an odd thing to say. I mean about the outside world, of course.
If you like, go ahead.
I hear the human cities are very large, thousands upon thousands of souls all packed together in their houses. Is that true?
In some places, they can't imagine how we live either. Why don't you go and see a city for yourself? Are you saying you can't imagine such a thing? Yes, some are larger than the eye can see.
I never thought of it like that. They truly couldn't imagine this kind of freedom? How odd. I try to imagine those of our people living in such a place, surrounded by walls of stone and indifference. It is a difficult thought.
I can't imagine a lot of people being able to live without a house over their head, or not be able to sleep on a memory foam mattress, or not be able to have electricity of any kind. There are a lot of people who really rely on that. So living like this back then doesn't seem too far off from living in a city, except you're, sleeping probably on the ground in a tent and going out to hunt your food instead of going to a market and buying what you need. They are used to it just as the humans are. Difficult for you, perhaps. Maybe you should try it. It isn't an easy life for them, that's true. I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, I suppose you haven't been traveling amongst them long enough to form such an opinion. I have one more question, though I'm not sure you can answer it. Do the humans ever regret what they did to us?
You're talking about something from, thousands of years ago. I think some of them do. Not all humans are the same. I doubt they pay attention to it. It's just history to them. I really can't tell. I haven't seen anything. This is more likely the truth.
How quickly they forget. A poet once wrote of them before the fall of the Dales. Like dragons they fly, glory upon wings. Like dragons they savage, fearsome, pretty things. But you don't need me to quote poetry to you. Forgive me. Perhaps you have some questions of your own.
What can you tell me about
Nothing
Zathrian?
that you could not ask Zathrian himself. He is the keeper of this clan and has been for a very long time. He is also a very good man who has lost much. The Dalish are everything to him, and he would do anything to protect them.
Lost much? What has he lost?
I really shouldn't talk about that. That's something you should ask him about yourself.
Tell me more about yourself.
I'm hardly anyone special, I assure you. If I seem different from the rest of my clan, it's only because I was born amongst humans. I came to the Dalish at a very young age, but I've always retained my curiosity about the world I came from.
How did you come to the Dalish if you were so young?
My parents were servants to a human merchant whose caravans plied the southern routes. One day, bandits killed him, and my parents both. I was the only survivor, just a young girl, and the bandits took me. I was their servant for several years.
I'm sorry, it must have been horrible.
It was, though long years of reflection have allowed me to come to terms with it, to put them in perspective. I can only imagine what would have happened had the clan not saved me from them. I owe them my life for that, and more.
You said that the Dalish rescued you from bandits.
The bandits killed a scout when the clan passed near their camp. When the clan discovered him, Zathrian came looking for his killers. He followed their tracks for almost a month, and when he finally caught up to us, he fell on the bandits like a terror. No one could stop him. I sat there and I watched him attack them in a blur, and I reveled in every blow. When he saw me, the fury in his eyes turned to pity. He took me back to the clan, and I've been here ever since.
Didn't you have family you could have returned to?
It's possible I might have had some, maybe many. Zathrian offered to take me back, but I had no idea where I was from, and I wanted to stay with the man who rescued me. The clan is my family. Any others out there? It's best they believe that little girl died with her parents. For now, the clan is all I need. My old world could not have offered me all this, and the knowledge of a keeper as well. Perhaps one day, when I am keeper, I might inquire out of curiosity. I'm not sure what lies down that road except pain, however.
How did you become a keeper?
I am not a keeper. I am Zathrian's first. Though because I was not born into the clan, becoming his first was very difficult. We Dalish have old traditions. The clans come from the ranks of the nobility that once ruled the Dales, you see. The keepers of those old clans have the strongest and purest blood that reaches back to the days of Arlathan. I had to compete against the other candidates for first, to be better than them in everything, simply because I was not of the old blood.
Did they resent your success?
No. Zathrian told me that time would take away their prejudices, and it did. They became used to me. The clan has placed great trust in me. One day, I will lead them and be the one who secures our future.
I should go.
As you wish. Darth Shirel.
The way they pronounce some of these ends up changing, too. We need... Here's Zathrian. Or, not Zathrian, Verathorn.
What are you doing? You've warped the wood completely. Did you leave it out in the rain?
No, Master Verathorn. I think I just used too much heat.
You're not smelting ore like a Durgenlin. This is living wood. It requires patience and delicate hands, not more heat.
My actions bring me sorrow, Master Verathorn.
And so they should. Truly the art will be lost to us forever at this rate. Throw away your dead wood and start anew, and I shall speak to our guest, and Darren Atishan friend. It has been some
What in
years
the
since I
world?
met Master Island at the last gathering. He is still hale, I hope.
What? How was he hammering that item back there? It was like hammering it on its side. He was asking about Master Island. He was fine when I last saw him, yes.
That is good to hear. Your clan is more familiar to us than most, since we do not stray far from each other in this land. I met your father, for he was once keeper of your clan. You carry many of his features. He spoke at a gathering, telling the clans that more of us need to voyage into the Shemlin world and learn their ways. He would be proud to see his daughter a Grey Warden, I think.
I barely know anything about him.
Ah, yes, I understand the circumstances of his passing were tragic. It is unpleasant to speak of such things. Irrebelos.
I am sorry, huh? I would like to barter with you. I was told you could supply me with equipment.
Yes, yes, the Keeper sent word that you might ask me for such. I took the liberty of assembling some goods that our hunters use. There is a large chest by the Araville where I put everything we could spare. Feel free to sort through it and take whatever you need.
You seem quite advanced in the old craft.
What little of the craft I've learned has been passed on to me through generations. Such is the time it has taken us to learn a fraction of what has been lost. I do not make bows as fine as Master Islands, perhaps, but might have caused more than one Shemlin to drool at the thought of possessing them. There is wood that, if treated properly, is as hard as steel but far lighter. It grows only in this forest. Ironbark. The Keeper has forbidden us from entering the forest to collect the wood. This means I cannot make our finest crafts for years to come.
What if I found some ironbark for you?
I would be hesitant to ask it of you, but if you should come across ironbark, I suppose there would be no harm in gathering some. It is blue and very distinctive. You can only harvest the bark which has fallen off the tree from age. Now, if you find some, bring it to me, and I will craft it for you.
There is a reason why he said you can only take it from a fallen tree. I think I read the codex on it. It was about Abelas, who took from a living tree and was cursed. So that's why they can only take wood and bark from fallen or dead trees. What kind of item would you make?
I excel in making blades from the ironbark, or perhaps a breastplate. Provided there's enough wood, that is.
He says blades, but if I recall, he will only make you a bow or a breastplate. Very well, I'll take a look when I'm in the forest.
That would please me, so long as our hunters come first.
I would like to barter with you.
I am no merchant, but let us trade. Perhaps there's something here which will be of value to you.
Also, for those who don't know, ironbark is actually a real wood in real life. It's actually called ironwood. I can't remember. I don't think it's blue. I think it's like a gray tone, but I could be wrong. Does he have anything that's better than what I have? And I don't think he does. Dalish gloves. Ooh. That is better than what I'm wearing. I will buy that. That, however, is not. That is, and I need that. Elf rope? No. Okay. Let us... change up our armor here. Ooh, that has a nice bronzy color to it.
It is good to see you again. Have you need of something? I am...
Did we pick anything up that's sellable? I don't think so. Ooh, a greater health poultice recipe. We'll need that. There we go. Let's loot the hell out of this. Pick up this codex, Eldest of the Sun. Just gonna go around looting everything, and then we'll go talk to people.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I get all the elf fruit. We can't take that chest. Some more
How do they
elf
move
fruit.
these things through the forest? Do the trees just get out of their way, or what?
Absolutely. No, they use hollows.
Oh, right.
And Harel. Is that a nug? They're eating a nug.
Yes.
Freaking clan shields. Ooh, new codex. I think we can click on these, right?
Oh, right.
This is the hunt. Earthkeeper. This is the
And I'm off.
Mother of the Hala. There's something to pick over here? I can't remember. No. I'm not going to talk to her because we need survival to help this Hala. I'm going to be bouncing all over the place to different locations because I want to do as many quests as I can. Yeah, and I don't... I have 1 in survival. I think I need 2. Where is the storyteller at? Oh. There he is.
Andera Natishan, Lethalan. Would you come and help us break our fast?
Sure.
Come then and sit. Join us by the fire. I am Harent Seril, the clan storyteller. You have one in your own clan, I assume.
Yes. Hevel.
Ah, Haren Pyvel still lives. That is good, for he was old even when I was but Dalen. How lucky you are to have been reared with his tales. I notice you are not alone. These companions of yours are Grey Wardens like yourself?
I'm a Grey Warden, yes. Pleased to meet you. Nice campfire you have there.
A Grey Warden? I? Bite your tongue, storyteller.
My god.
Andaren Atishan. Enter this place in peace. I do find it odd that any of your kind would so readily follow one of the Dalish. Do you suppose you have been made a Grey Warden simply to get our assistance? Maybe they think we would not live up to the treaty otherwise.
You overestimate the value of your clan's help. You cannot live up to the treaty as it is. I assure you that's not the case.
Oh, you do you? No offense, young one, but you don't know half the...
Please, Harren Seril, you are being most unkind to one who is not only of our blood, but also a guest who is here to help us.
Of course. I apologize for my rudeness. Our losses have been great, and I am... not myself. The Harren's own wife has perished from the werewolf's curse. We are mourning her death here, and many more to come.
Yeah, he was kind of being really rude considering that was not the case. We did not become a Grey Warden for the treaty purpose. We didn't have a choice. We were going to die. I am sorry for your loss.
Masirinas. Better her suffering be ended now than for her to have become... a beast. These have not been easy days for us, and the idea that we may yet have to abandon our ill to their fate. But let us not dwell on our problems. Is there something we can do to help you in your quest?
What can you tell me about the forest?
I know a few tales. Our clan has passed this way many times before, even when the Shemlin lived in these parts. You wish? I can tell you what I know. It is not a long story.
Yes, tell me.
Our legends say that before the Shemlin came, the Brazilian forest was a place of our ancestors that predated even our oldest homeland. The people of the Imperium came here and gave the forest its name. If they found traces of our ancestors, we cannot say. If they did, those elves were slain or enslaved. We know only that a great many battles were fought here. These trees grow upon the graves of those who fell, Shemlin and elves both.
And?
So much death in one place tore the veil into the beyond. The Shemlin know the beyond as the Fade, the place of dreams and spirits. When the veil is torn, spirits pass into our world freely. The legends say that one great spirit possessed the wolf that became Witherfang, who passed its curse of rage onto men and created werewolves.
This Witherfang still exists today.
So Zathrian insists. He says that Witherfang does not age as the werewolves do. Witherfang is as much spirit as it is beast, and thus it is immortal. Perhaps it cannot even be slain. At the very least, it is old and powerful, much as Zathrian himself.
So there are many spirits in the forest.
The forest is said to be haunted. Spirits possess the trees, the wolves, even the bodies of the dead. They yearn for true life, you see.
There were battles in the forest?
Who can say what value the Imperium placed on this land? And how many elves died here, in slavery? Even the barbarians, who came to overthrow the Imperium, fought and died on this soil.
How many werewolves are there?
No one knows. When the Shemlin lived in these parts, the curse would spread anew to a few of them with each passing year. They would run off into the forest, never to be seen again. Eventually, all the Shemlin left. One assumes the werewolves survive by passing their curse to their offspring. They have had no new blood. Until now, that is.
Have the hunters become werewolves?
It is said that one or two have turned already, though the Keeper denies it. As for the rest, they will either die or turn, unless they are killed out of mercy. I would rather die than become a ravening, soulless beast. Wouldn't you?
No, I'd try to find a cure.
One last warning. The forest is like a thing alive. It changes as it wills, closing paths behind you and opening up new ones. Too many have become lost within, unable to find their way out. Were I you, I would endeavor not to make the forest my enemy.
Can't we ask him about Zathrian?
Anathara, my friend, join us if you like.
What do you know about werewolves?
We know only what Zathrian has told us over the years. I never saw one myself until the attack.
If they are so mindless, how did they ambush you?
Some of us have wondered. The Keeper says they are simply cunning, that any beast can lie in wait. But this seemed more than that. It was planned. These are no simple beasts. Then the real question is why the Keeper would insist that it is not so.
Why would he lie?
I do not believe he would. But even the wisest of men do not always see the truth in front of them, nor do they always wish to.
How does one fight them?
The hunters say they have strength and speed far beyond what's ordinary, and are as tough as such beasts come. Like wolves, they hunt in packs so as to combine their strength. But in the end, a blade kills them as surely as it does any other. What you need to fear is their bite. If you are infected, you are done. Though not right away, and not all at once.
Do they have any strange abilities?
As you know, they can shapeshift into wolves, allowing them to hide amidst the true wolves.
Okay. Is there a way to prevent being afflicted by their curse?
Other than not to get bitten? Not that I know of.
Okay, we've already asked all these questions, so we're leaving.
Of course. You wish something else?
Nope.
Dareth Shirral.
Well... This guy has a quest for us, I know, but I don't think my speech is high enough. He didn't tell us anything about the curse, though. Nothing new, anyway. Alright, we're supposed to go in the forest, but we're gonna end it here for today. It was pretty boring, but that's okay. I hope you all enjoyed part 7 of Dragon Age Origins, and I'll see you all next time. Until we meet again.